Alright, before starting, I've already established two rules. One, I won't be speaking about the romance anime sequels like Fruit Baskets and Quintessential Quintuplets. And two, I'll only be speaking about the anime released so far, because how can you judge an anime that isn't released? Alright, no jokes in the intro today, boys. Let's get started. Number 10, Duke of Death and His Maid.
関節キスですね。わ
ざわざ言わなくてよくない？
There's always that one anime you think is very generic after you see the cover, but turns out to be amazing when you actually start watching it. Duke of Death and His Maid is one such romance show that completely took me by surprise. First off, the anime is full of CGI, but this doesn't mean this show is another X-Arm clone. Since this is done by JC Staff Studios, the animation is pretty great, and mix it with one Duke and one maid love story and you get a perfect romantic wild ride. Yep, this show is about a Duke who falls in love with his maid after deciding to take a retreat. Oh, and just in case I forgot, this Duke guy also has a disease where he kills anything he touches, so if that's the case, how will he kiss his maid? Watch the anime and find out. Number 9, Kanojo Mo Kanojo.
振りたくなんかない。とはいえ、彼女のことも裏切れない。だから、もし許されるなら。
Okay, don't kill me. This is a haram, but I promise the romance here feels refreshing. I mean, what other romance anime makes two-timing look legal? This guy who already has a girlfriend is asked out by another girl, but instead of rejecting her like a sane man, he decides to date both of them. Yeah, you guessed it right. This is one of those guilty pleasure shows you should be watching. After watching the show, I immediately went to read the manga because this has that dumb kind of fun you get from a less serious haram anime. Yep, so don't go expecting Romeo and Juliet in this one, because this is all about one dumb guy's adventure with 2 girls or 3 girls, or wait, there are actually 4 girls in the opening. Yeah, that's a RM for you. Number 8, Tomozaki Kun.
鬼ただ。
え、何？鬼ただ？
あなたが最初にやることもキャラクターメイクよ。
いや、何？
Once again, we have a guy who's good at gaming, but bad at social skills. Normally, that's a character archetype in the anime industry, but this guy is way too bad at socializing. Some say he's cringe, but I wouldn't go that far because he genuinely gets some good character development later on in the series. Tomozaki Kun is an anime about the character called Tomozaki Kun, duh, and a girl who plays the same game as him but decides to teach him some social manners. As I said, what I like about this show is the character development the main character receives. It is handled in a very unique fashion to show how much self-improvement is important in the modern society. Like many new romance anime, this show doesn't go very deep in its themes, which is why you don't need a PhD in social science to understand the story. Number 7, Saint's magic power is omnipotent.
どこまで？
もういいよ、セイ。
所長。
よくできてる。
あとはこれを冷やして瓶に詰めるだけ。
To be honest, I first thought this is going to be a power fantasy anime after hearing about this title, but what do you know? It's a magical fantasy, but with girls. Do you hate magical stories? Then get out right now. Okay, if you really hate them, then skip to the next. But if you like stories like Snow White with red hair, then this anime has many similar elements to it in terms of world building. First off, it's an isekai, so the show starts by sending our main character into another world, but instead of fighting monsters, she decides to lay down and find some magical herbs. Here, she meets her Prince Charming, and the two slowly fall in love with each other. The thing with Saint's magic power is that it doesn't focus only on the romance genre, it combines it with fantasy to make the story more interesting and unique. Number 6, Koikimo.
言ってるんだよ。確かに女癖の悪い男だとは思いますけど。私に対して。 If
you've already seen that rich playboy, innocent girl trope a million times before, well then I have nothing to say, my friend. This anime builds its foundation with that trope. But if you still feel like, I should give that show a watch, then don't worry because the romance here is really interesting. For example, it just starts off with a girl and a boy and then develops to a love triangle and then a love rectangle. I think it had the potential to be a love hexagon or an octagon, but the season ended before that happened. It has one of those controversial premises where the rich boy starts stalking the schoolgirl he likes, but by the time you finish the anime, you forget about the premise and ask when the second season will be airing. Number 5, Remake Our Life.
ただね、時々考えすぎて疲れてる気がする。今日の昼だってなんか難しい顔しとったよ。
Once in a while, every anime gets that back through time story that has been done a million times. In these cases, it's not the anime premise we should be worried about, but how much of a great story they can craft by using the back through time trope as a foundation. Remake Our Life may feel like a funny comedy show from the outside, but after checking a couple of episodes, you can tell that this is actually about our main character finally doing something that he likes. Back in our high school years, there were times where we thought we could do one thing but ended up doing another. And then later on we think, what if we actually followed what I like instead of doing what I don't like? Remake Our Life tells the same story of a man who goes back in time and finally does the thing he likes. And he also gets a girlfriend, and that's why I'm adding this story to the romance anime list. Number 4, the detective is already dead.
巻き込まれようと私が好みを呈して君を守ってあげるだから君私の助手になってよ
Alright, I know this anime only uses romance as a subplot, but how can I ignore this when it has siesta in it? Detective is Already Dead was hyped up to be a pretty refreshing detective show, but it turned out to be an airplane crash into nowhere. In terms of mystery, it feels like the show is shoving too many concepts at your face at once, but in terms of romance, we've got a cute couple taking the lead. Oh wait, let me correct that. In terms of romance, we have Siesta taking the lead, and the only thing you need to worry about in this anime is Siesta. Siesta is the one carrying this anime on her shoulders, and Siesta is best girl. If you deny that, then you can hijack a plane until you meet a girl like Siesta. Number 3, Nakataro Song.
なんかキモいのがいるって
キモいとか言うなよ。
くぬくぬしてるんですよ先輩は
Are you a sadist? Do you love to see others getting bullied? Are you a bully, or do you love to be bullied? Then this anime is the show for you. When I first heard that this anime was about bullying, I had my doubts, but halfway through, the show starts to focus on our wimpy main character, and he finally got some character development. In the end of Nakataro Song, it's all about our socially withdrawn introvert transforms to a guy who can carry a harem on his back. If you watch the anime too much, you might start simping for the club president, but you're not supposed to do that because Nagatoro is the main girl here. Once again, if you need some sadistic pleasure and bully romance story, then here's the anime for you. Alright, it's just a joke. I said the anime is good, right? Number 2, Higehiro.
やらなくていいの
何度も言わすな。ガキは好みじゃねえんだよ。
Alright, here comes the controversy. If you need a detailed explanation about Higehiro's controversy, you can watch this short video. But if you don't feel like wasting time, then let's tell this anime is one of those shows that can create a sandstorm in Twitter. But surprise, it didn't. So when I checked out the show expecting controversy handled in the usual controversial fashion, I was surprised to find a more serious romance show focused on realistic character life stories rather than some cheesy FBI is coming parody. Higehiro only uses its controversial premise to generate the audience, and from there onwards you're thrown into the romance wild ride that focuses on much darker parts of society. If you haven't watched this one, then you're definitely missing a lot. Number 1, Horimiya.
言ったの宮村は言ったの
言った。
And coming in at our number 1 spot is the most realistic romance anime of all time. Are you tired of anime where the guy and girl take a whole season to start dating? The couple in Horimiya start dating after the first few episodes, and then from there onward we start to focus on the issues that happen during their relationship instead of all that anime love drama you see in normal anime. This way, Horimiya portrays real-life romance much better than many anime, and since the couple has already started dating, you don't have to worry about those annoying love triangles, rectangles, hexagons, and octagons. At first, I was surprised by why so many people like this anime, but after watching it, I know this is always going to be in my top romance animes list.